All that a narcissist wants is to be proven right every single second of their lives. That is the main supply. They want to be validated. They get that by proving you wrong, manipulating your mind to agree with them and say that they're right, denying your reality if it contradicts theirs, taking credit for your success, and many other ways. What a narcissist does with their children is take that supply in different ways from their children. They get a supply in a specific way from this child and that other specific way from that child. For example, if child A gets bad marks on their test, the narcissist yells and makes a scene. This way, the child is afraid of them and they listen to what they say and they do what they tell them to do. And if they listen to them, this means that the narcissist must be right and they have power. I know that it doesn't make any sense to your healthy mind, and that is good. Be grateful that it doesn't even make sense to you. If child B gets bad marks on their test, the narcissist ignores them completely. This way, the child does anything to get the narcissistic parent attention. The narcissistic parent's attention. This way, the narcissistic parent has power and they are awesome, and that's why people want their attention. Here is a weird example of the same attitude you will get if you have ever had a narcissistic spouse or a narcissistic romantic partner. Let me ask you this. When you initiated sex, did you get it? Most probably you did not. And it always only happens when they want it, right? They ignore you, you run after them, they feel they are awesome, and that means that they are right and they are powerful. And even if you don't run after them and then like, please, 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 let's do this. I want it this time. Please, please, please. No, for them, even if you had a fight with them, that means that they are getting attention. And in their distorted, weird mind, that is power. Another example, or lastly, if child C gets bad marks on their test, the narcissist cherishes them and gives them candy. This way, the child loves them. And if they love them, the narcissist must be a great person and they must be right. They just want to feel good about themselves. And they do it in the most wicked ways. How they recruit each child for the respective role only depends on the narcissistic person, their current circumstances, their own childhood, the child, like their children's behaviors, like, this child is good to be the scapegoat now. Of course, they don't think of it in these terms, but that is the pattern, and these are the names that how things go are named as, you know what I mean? And yeah, it depends on a lot of other stuff. But does it matter? You see, there are tons of content out there about narcissistic people and understanding narcissism, and it is unfair. They want attention and they're getting it even from content warning about them. What I really, really want to talk about is the life of a golden child. And if you look at it, the narcissistic person doesn't even care about a golden child. They just want the supply from them. It's not about the child. It's never about anybody else. It's always about narcissistic person. But not in here. Enough is enough. I don't want to talk about the narcissistic person. I want to talk about the golden child because I was the golden child of my narcissistic parent and it sucked. Let me talk about the first way it sucks if you are the golden child of narcissistic parent, which I kind of mentioned when I talked about the example in child C. When I talked about how they recruit a golden child, they want you to love them, right? That is the first way that it sucks to be the golden child of a narcissistic parent. It's conditional love. You're expected to behave in a certain way in exchange for them not treating you like your siblings or the other parent. They want you to validate anything they say or do. And you and I both know that they never did anything right. They never did anything good. And you're expected to validate that. You're expected to lie. And I wish it was just about the expectation to lie. No, children can't lie. They learn to lie. And how they do that? They convince themselves with the lie that they need to say, that they need to tell. So this goes further. You make excuses for your narcissistic parent, so you actually believe that they are not bad people, and it's not a lie anymore. You defend them with conviction, and as a result, your perception of good and bad becomes distorted. Other than that, if that's not enough, your definition of love becomes distorted. Your parent is doing all of these amazing things for you. They're taking you out here, they're giving you this, they're giving you that, but they're also criticizing you. They occasionally abuse you here and there, treating you, treating the rest of your family like shit. And as a child, your parent is your role model. My mom is right, my dad must be right. That's why children cry when parents shout at them or when their parents are mad at them, because they do care about and believe anything that their parents say. If my mom say, if my mom says she loves me, then she loves me. If my dad says that I'm bad, they must be right. And if my dad says that he's criticizing me because he loves me, then that is how people show love. That's how children think. They learn what they live. And thus, you grow up accepting anybody and everybody, no matter how bad they are, no matter how bad they treat you. You don't see it. Or worse, you do see it, but you make up excuses for them as you did for your narcissistic parent. So you can survive your childhood and numb your critical brain. That was your survival mechanism, and it becomes your behavior as a grown ass person, welcoming abusive people in your life because that's just how it was. That's just how it always was. You do the same for friends, lovers, and bosses, even, and you end up in the most disturbing relationships. And you give them all you can give because you're used to conditional love. Conditional love has been wired into your brain since childhood. And since childhood, you're used to the most intense love bombing. And you feel like you want to give back a lot and even feel guilty if they don't receive what you're giving back. You know why? Because if they don't receive from you whatever you're giving them, you easily become a scapegoat or invisible. You're used to criticism as a love language. And in a narcissistic household, it's not just about criticism, I wish it were. Sometimes verbal abuse and some other times other types of abuse. You're used to these things as love language. You were told that I'm doing this shit to you because I love you. You learn conditional love with all of its ugly faces in a narcissistic household, and you live what you've learned just as you learned what you lived. Yeah, it's pretty sad and it's effed up, but why don't you give yourself that unconditional love? Do you need your parents in any way as a grown ass person? You needed them as a child to survive. You needed their love to survive. And you needed to justify whatever they were doing and to twist it to be love so you could survive. And you gave them excuses as a survival mechanism, which is very smart. It's not bad. We've all done that to survive. But do you need that anymore? Do you need any of your parents, whether narcissistic one or the other healthy one, if there is any? Do you need any of them for your survival right now? Hell no. So why don't you just do this with me right now? Just close your eyes right now and hug yourself, like really hug yourself, and say these with me. Say to yourself, I love you unconditionally. I don't want anything from you. Say it, like repeat it after me. I love you unconditionally. I do not want anything from you. You're amazing the way you are. All of your opinions matter. I love you unconditionally. And look, yeah, it may sound silly, but it works. And if you think that it's silly, it's a sign that you should do this and you should keep on going because you haven't heard this, you haven't heard what you needed as a child from your parent. And it's unfamiliar now, but because it's unfamiliar, you gotta do it. You gotta make it familiar. It's it's very important because we don't survive just on food, we survive on love. So give it to yourself and let's do it together again. Just say this after me. I love you unconditionally. I don't want anything from you. You're amazing. You're amazing the way you are. All your opinions are valid. I love you unconditionally. You're lovable. You're enough. I love you. You matter. I love you unconditionally. I love you completely. You're lovable. You're enough. I love you. And that's it. You can open your eyes now and you can just get into that every day, every few minutes. And it is going to feel weird. So keep on doing it until it's not weird anymore. And that's it. It sucked to be the golden child of a narcissistic parent, but you're golden. You don't need them to be golden. You are golden. So you can even add that. Let's do it one last time. Say this with me. I love you unconditionally. I love you completely. You're golden. Your opinions matter. I love you unconditionally. I love you completely. You're lovable. You're enough.